Hello, um, it's Prince Busy, and well, as usual, I have a couple things that I want to share with you. Okay, now the last time we talked about health, now that video has seen heavy suppression as usual, because as I've said, it's important. So in that video, I forgot one thing: sleep, REM sleep. Yes. So all of these other aspects above affect sleep, and especially REM sleep. Okay, sleep is not just sleep. There are actually stages to sleep. There are stages to sleep, and REM being the last one, in which even the creator can communicate with his beings. That is how using dreams. So the effort has been to keep people from achieving REM sleep. Okay, I remember I read a research back in the days where they talked about they hooked up a machine to monitor brain activity of a person sleeping, and actually they compared the brain activities to when that person is awake, and they figure out that this person is actually waking up throughout the night about 100 times or so. That the person shows brain activity like they are awake, so no wonder they wake up exhausted. Okay, now they came up with theories as to how this happens, but it has a lot to do with EMF, it has a lot to do with your diet, it has also a lot to do with your DNA. Some people, even myself, I have this weird tendency. Sometimes I sleep 8 hours exactly. If I sleep even an hour more, I get sick. I get exhausted, But sometimes it's just 3 hours, sometimes 4 hours. It changes, I think there is a deeper situation to this. Okay? But of course, there are exceptions. There are exceptions. For me, for instance, God has been trying to keep me away from dreams. If I go there, I do not stay long. Okay, because the enemy is vicious over there. Okay, and I do not want to engage in unwanted, So now imagine the normal time for people to fall asleep these days is around 1. Okay, around 1 in the night. Saa 7 usiku ndo watu wanaingia kulala. Now if the average, you need 8 hours in order for these phases, because this is average, for these phases to achieve these phases, then you'll understand. And if you don't have sleep, stress increases, because the body has a weird mechanism, and our entire lives are going against this mechanism. That's why we need changes than most people can even apprehend, if we really want to preserve life and be honest as true leaders. Okay? Because that's our mission, to preserve life. Okay? To preserve life. So we need to make changes necessary in order for this to be the first priority. Okay, that's why I talk about housing, I talk about food, I talk about water, I talk about power and things like this, because these are essential things for life. So think like that. Okay, now let's get to today's talk, apocalyptic talk, because this is the apocalypse, and they're trying to avoid it and also do damage control by trying to control the narrative of what actually is happening. Okay, as we see what is occurring in Europe, in Eastern Europe, and also in the Middle East, we see the blatant, obvious control of the narrative being practiced by the forces that be. Okay, and trust me, we both know that this has nothing to do with these supposed governments. No, this is far more, because it would imply that they are accountable to the people, which are actually not. They do not represent the people. Okay, that's why they are not even showing these protests from the other side. They're just showing the protests from one side, the supporters of whatever narrative they're trying to paint. So this all began with Nazi scientists, believe it or not, who came and made NASA, and NASA made CERN, and CERN created what we know as the internet. The first picture uploaded on the internet was of CERN workers. It was cryptic by itself. Okay, I shall find it and we shall come to talk about it. Okay, and CERN has evolved into quantum computers, because they say wherever antimatter or dark matter, the information they achieve cannot be interpreted by normal computer. It has to be a quantum computer. So they have linked with other companies like D-Link or something like that. And the D-Link guy, you should find a clip of this D-Link guy talking about these computers. He says that they are actually like altars, altars, So what are they saying really? Okay, what are they saying? Okay, so this is a digest. Okay, the true collider is your brain. Okay, or what links your soul and your body. Okay, this vessel and your soul. Okay, that's the collision. Okay, that's the Big Bang right there. Right? Two bodies colliding to each other to form one single thing. Okay, that's what planets do, right? They are talking in code. So the true collider is your brain. Okay, they are tracing the first spark, the source. Okay, you are not alive. You are not alive. Remember this. Living has characteristics, yes? Whatever the scientists say, movement, breathing, metabolic activities or whatever. Okay, you are not alive, but your soul existed somewhere. Okay, they know that for a fact. So they are trying to trace that point of origin. Okay, they are trying to trace that point of origin where this door opens to link these two beings together to form what we know as a human. Okay, so they're planning to, as usual, planning assaults on the heaven. Okay, that's why they shot 3 rockets into the solar eclipse, supposedly. Okay, but in reality, they are also talking in code. Okay, the sun is the prince, the moon is Lucifer, right? So if they shot 3 missiles, that means they shot 2 weapons my way. Okay, and they are telling everybody about it, and people are not even getting it. They are so stuck on other topics or whatever. Okay, and one of them hit me on Saturday. Yes, the last Saturday. Okay, we shall talk about where they specifically choose to hit and why. So if that fails, which is doing incredibly, because whatever rockets they have tried to blow through the ice dome, they cannot penetrate. Okay, they cannot penetrate. They can't go anywhere. So their plan is to keep people here or take them below, farther below, far from God, right? Being one level is bad. Now being two levels is the worst. Okay, so the Prince War, we shall talk about that using pictures, of course. The fake Jews, the Antichrist, in the light of the gods, are the same, right? This is the new way of the Catholics. It's sad, but it's the truth. Ecumenism, they call it. They even come out and saying that there's no need for conversion. There's no need for Muslims to become Christians. There's no need for those Christians who are not Catholics to become Catholics. There's no need, because all gods are the same. We serve the same God. So we should just hold hands and just pray together, Well, they are trying to play politics with God, and God does not play politics. God is the truth. Okay, and all of this, in the midst of this, who is there? The Jews, the fake Jews. That's my opinion anyways. That's for you to figure out. Because if they are the true Jews, that would make me the Antichrist. This is the setup, and they did this from way back. So you have to choose the black Jew or the Middle Eastern Jews, because they have their own prince, this Ben whatever. You should look him up. They have tried to tease him. Ben bin I don't know what. They say that it's their Messiah, the one that is going to build the kingdom of Israel, and he's going to conquer the whole world. Okay, now you have to decide. That's what they're saying. Okay, that's what they have been waiting. Yes, that's what these mystics and what these mystics and these politicians, which are of the Jewish people, differ from, because the Zionists present a politic perspective to their faith, which does not go hand in hand with them having a king. Okay, they don't have a king, so they can't have a state, really. So this whole idea of the Israel state was the fault of the Zionists, and they are trying to blame each other, and while they are being used to buy time. Okay, but the truth is they want to kill or control the prince. Now you have to decide. From scripture, I will show you scripture here for you to discern which is the false Jew and who is the real Jew. The one who has the most to gain. The counterfeit has the most one to gain. Yes? The person who is responsible for identity theft is the person the most to gain from whatever is happening or is going to happen. Yeah? And of course the Pope won't help. Because he himself denies the physical resurrection. He endorses the ball earth. Also, the Catholic Church is remember, this equates to punishment to the church. This is not a joke. Okay, you have been silenced about the fake Jews. And also we have been in support of Jesus not being the only way to heaven, because he said it clearly and we know it. I am the only way to heaven. You cannot reach the Father but except through me. The Father meaning God. Okay, so I've been clear even in my messaging to every one of you. Yes, if you want to get to heaven, listen to what Jesus Christ said. Okay, I didn't say this message is exclusive to Christians or Buddhist or Muslim or whatever. To everybody who is interested in the truth. Interested, key word. But if you don't have the grace to apprehend what I'm saying, then to each their own. Okay? Alien baptismos. This is the time of the church to lose, not to lose, to choose a shepherd carefully. Because now you realize that you have been in the clutches of the wolves for a long time. All of this LGBTQ support, the depopulation globalist agenda, for whatever means, injections or climate change or whatever. And the real question is, will this, the leadership of this Pope, help you get to heaven? Will your actions being attached to what he says as a leader, because people are strong, have strong opinions on that. He might be wrong, but no. He has proven himself to be exactly the opposite of our master. So, let's get to the pictures. So, this is the last movie, The Wakanda Forever. I've talked about this movie being part of their plan. And here, of course, what do we have? We have the prince, right? The blue. We have the prince. And where they escape to is Zion, okay? That's why on his neck, like the Wakandans, they have the teeth of the predator, right? This one is the shark, but the Wakandans have the jaguar or whatever, So they are mirrors, okay? We have talked about mirrors, Gemini, right? The devil is trying to mirror Jesus Christ, okay? The devil, the darkness trying to be the angel of light, okay? So here is the prince, okay? So we already established that, okay, prior even to seeing this picture here, right? We know deeper, we know even more than what they're saying, okay? So we know exactly why they gave this guy this specific injury, right? So here, they were given a vision by this demon, okay? I've shown you the picture of this demon here, right? These two here above are the eyes and the nose, and this is the mouth, open mouth, okay? Sacrifice, human sacrifice, okay? And they really sacrifice themselves in order to become abominations. And they say they died, their lives ended, okay? They became something else. Transhumanism, yes, connotations, okay? But they are mixing, they are confusing you, They are switching places in order to not be obvious which is Israel and which is the beast system. And now here he reveals the true purpose for him doing what he did. Okay, it's no longer about the scientist. And these powerful nations is talking about the enemies of Wakanda, right? Which are basically the United Nations of the world. They have conquered and enslaved people like us, okay? That's exactly what the West Bloc is saying, right? And what they're afraid of is exactly what, because they know, what is going to happen to them is exactly what happened to Germany. It's going to be broken into a smaller place. That's exactly what Russia is afraid of. That's exactly what China is afraid of, right? So in reaction, it conquers more in order to, I don't know, whatever. And the second round will be on Africa, right? The second round will be Africa. We know that. Okay, we have already heard talk about them trying to come to Congo and to try to break up Congo. They say, oh, Congo is too big and whatever. But the only reason is that to create conflict so that they can plunder freely, right? Over resources. The pointy ears, that's the elf ears they're called. The elves are actually hybrids. He's a hybrid and he knows it. Now, this is what Apollo is saying. I need to know if Wakanda is an ally or an enemy, right? There's no in between. Yes? So you plan to wage war on the entire world to get what he wants, right? And he tells him the obvious truth, right? There is no nation that will not plunder Zion, right? It's a target. It's an obvious target. It's a huge target, especially sitting next to Congo. We have the port and everything. Okay? So if the West were to plunder Congo, they would use Zion, right? But if Babylon wanted to plunder Congo, they would just use the sea, the ocean, right? So let's shift gears. So more mockery, right? This is a cover from Rema's recent work, right? Depicting war, the prince, the fiery one, going to war, right? And his recent songs show how they will conquer the prince, right? In counter to this, I heard Mr. Musk came into action as usual. The horseman of darkness. Right? Okay, we talked about discerning the true Jews from the synagogue of Satan. I know thy works and tribulations and poverty. Let's digest that. Thy works, tribulations, and poverty. So it's a matter of just fitting the people to this description. Okay? But it goes on. It says, but thou art rich, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but they are the synagogue of Satan. Okay? If you are intelligent, even, 30%, it's quite easy to figure out what is what. It goes on. Behold, I will make them the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews. It goes to repeat, so this message is important. And are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come to worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. Okay? And this is what they dread. This is what they dread. Okay, this is what this war is all about. This is what this eruption of the entire earth is about. Distracting you from the truth, and this is the truth. And shall go out to deceive the nation which are the four quarters of the earth. This is the purpose of Satan. Okay, to gather Gog and Magog, to battle one another. And there were many. Okay, like sand of the sea. Now imagine that. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, we talked about this the last time. This is more artwork from recent Rema's work. We have Apollo here, and of course we have Michael at the top with the trumpet. saying it's time. But hey, they have their arrows drawn and everything. This was also controversial, this cover. Yeah, here we see above, top left, we see the golden ratio, right? The golden ratio. Below, of course, we see the mushroom kingdom. Okay, I warned you about mushrooms. This is what you should be worried about, not cannabis. Cannabis is okay. Okay, should be worried about other things. Okay, put your effort on that. Okay, and of course we have the rider of the horse. We shall see a close-up of this guy here, right? And of course we have the church upside down, burning. Yes, this is a symbolism. And of course we have the two roses outside. Okay, so of course here is the rider. Okay, the horses are upside down. War. That's what even flags mean when they are put upside down, right? Means war. So in the notes, we went to detail. Okay, so the first symbolism is the arrow in the face. Okay, arrow in the face. Okay, that is the mark that I showed you even in the Wakanda footage, right? And of course we have the piercing in the heart. Okay, in reality Jesus Christ died from a piercing from to the heart. Okay, that's why there was that big release of pressure of water and blood. Okay, that's how Jesus Christ died. Okay, that's why Apollo uses arrows and spears. Okay, that's why, because it all has to do with killing the king of Israel. Okay, so Rema is playing as me. Okay, so it's a weird ritual. It's a weird ritual, and whatever they are doing, all I can say is I'm not worried really, but they should be worried about their souls. This is from Agent 47. Okay, of course we have the blue shirt. Okay, this is the prince. Okay, the mark on the eye. Okay, and of course in this movie The Fallen, we have Denzel Washington, who all of his movies is actually playing the prince of even in the Equalizer. Okay, the last Equalizer, there is a mural that shows Michael in there, right? Michael dripping in blood, right? That's a biblical connotation. Clothing dipped in blood, right? So even the villain was sleeping and the mural of Michael was above him, meaning Michael was upon him. Okay, Michael was upon him. That's the whole Equalizer. So Denzel Washington is playing Michael. Okay, so whatever happens to Denzel Washington is to affect Michael in some way, spiritually or physically, right? So in this movie, it was a joke, a mockery, a mockery. They show you Michael right here. Okay, and the path of this guy was set to death because the girl somehow convinced him that he could kill a demon. Yeah, he could kill a demon. Okay, that is not okay, that is not what's happening. Okay, so he was set in the path of vengeance. So here, Dead Reckoning. Yeah, Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning. And of course we have the mark on the eye, and of course we have the crucifix. They call it the cruciform key, right? Talked about keys, in the last video. Keys and kingdoms, one and the same, right? They do it even today. They give you the key to the city. So it's symbolism. Okay, these movies, they are spiritual. That's why these people work hard, because it is a spiritual investment to them. It's not entertainment. They're not entertaining nobody. These people think they are gods to us. What do you think they want to entertain you? Of course, the mushroom kingdom. Yeah? The mushroom kingdoms, just like the Super Mario animation. It will make you a super man. Okay, the mushrooms will make you a Superman. That means it will make you possessed. That's what that's what is going to happen to you. Okay, we talked about this. Now they're coming out and doing it. And since they have capsules and brands and everything, and you people are going to buy it. Okay, I warned you. Nefarious. This movie about this guy, a lawyer, who was attacked by the devil himself because he was the prince, of course, as usual, the color of the suit, blue, the prince. So we see the word nefarious mirrored. Okay, we talked about mirrors in the last video. So the symbol, left, in the right, right, since she's looking at us, the right position, right, 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 since she's in the mirror, right, 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 the plan, and of course, I'm not stupid. I know even some people in Tanzania are all for the plan, okay? Doing the single eye symbolism, and of course, the three marks symbolize, they know what they're doing. Flowers, of course, the rose, Rema has roses, he has roses, and the two rings. This is the marriage of Zion to the beast. That's what they want, at least. The idiotic plan they want. So, of course, we have the rose again down here. Of course, the blue, the prince, arrow to the heart, just like how Jesus Christ died. Space Force knows. That's why they have a logo like this one as the operations logo. Okay, what does space have to do with Egypt? Okay, they might say the pyramids, but so what does the pharaoh has to do with, because they know there is a Cushion king whose appearance comes with a star. Okay, now you get it. Okay, the stars and kings come together. So this operation is all a spear. It's an arrowhead, right? An arrowhead towards the Cushion Israelite prince. That's the whole operation. Okay, more. So this is me, right? This is what I've been talking about. This thing here, this is a weapon. Okay, they use it against me to cause that mark to appear, right? To cause that mark to appear. Here it is. It is more prominent in my face. It is a big scratch, a big mark, right? Now we are figuring out myself that it is part of their ritual, just like how they're symbolized in this artwork here. This ritualistic artwork showing a prince of war falling by his own sword. Okay, falling by his own sword. How about that? So, yeah, the world is darker than it seems. Trust me, the world is darker than it seems. So, the truth is sometimes, the Bible says the truth is sweet to the mouth. When you get it, you feel like, okay, now things make sense. Okay, now we understand why things are happening. They are happening. But it will make you sick that some of us will go to such length to commit terrible crimes just to anger God. because they know he exists. So if he exists, then we are not alone. We are not left to our own devices when it even comes to leadership. We are not meant to quarrel. We are supposed to have one shepherd. That's what the scriptures say. One shepherd, the whole world under one shepherd. Now the time is now to choose your shepherd. Apollo or the prince. It's up to you. Okay, it's up to you. So I'm just a general flying under a banner. Okay? So let's fight. General Easy signing out. Love you. Bye.